Hello, and welcome to Somewhat Damaged. Don't worry, you're in the right place. I'm still your host, Greg Alperin, and while the name may have changed, the unhinged and unfiltered comedy stays the same. Sit back, relax, and listen to the hot and fresh new episode. Buckle up.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, I heard he's pretty good. I've never seen him before, so I'm pretty excited about it. He's going to be the next new talent.
No, I saw him back in the day at one of his 7-hour punchline sets.
Oh shit! Was that Sacramento?
San Francisco. That was back.
Oh wow!
That's back when he would just like show up on a Monday and be like, "I'm here this week," and then they would literally just give whatever headliner they booked their money and say, "You can hang out if you want to."
Yeah, so John rubbed it in my face before he was like, he's like, I got these extra tickets to see Chappelle tonight. Can you go? And I can't friggin' go. And it's only like an hour from my house in Connecticut. And of course.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. I was in, you've never seen him at the store when he's done some of those pop-up marathon shows?
I saw him one night. He literally walked in at like 1:00 in the morning to do a set, and I just remember this one comic like had been waiting to go up all night, like that was their scheduled time, and she was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
By the way, Chris, I love how we're talking about another comedian while you're on.
Well, I mean, it's not, it's Dave Chappelle. It's not like some feature act in Wichita or something.
I just think it's funny. I was going to the store one night, like I think last January, right before like the world changed, and they put up these things like surprise guest tonight, buy tickets at 10 a.m. and trust us, right? Yeah. So I already had tickets for a show in the original room, and I was like, all right, so I'll try to get them. And knowing it wasn't going to start till midnight, I'm like, I'm way past my bedtime.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, it's either going to be Chappelle, and then there were all these rumors about Eddie Murphy starting to do stuff around and all that.
Yeah, there always is.
Yeah. And all right, so I wound up not getting tickets because they sold out in like 2 minutes. So then I went to the show. My buddy was like, "Oh, let's hang around maybe," and I'm like, no, it's like 11. Like I'm going home. And that night he did 12 a.m. till 3:00 in the morning.
Wow,
3 hours, and I'm like in the belly room, and I'm like, okay, so I'd be the guy in the front or not, in that small room, and have to like get up and leave 45 minutes in because I can't stay away.
Yeah, like, or you just try to power through, and then you're the guy that fell asleep during.
Like totally. And
well, when I was there, fucking, there were 14 people in the room when he walked on stage, and then all of a sudden there were 80. And wow. I'm not making that up. And then this one chick walked in, and he's like, the last 3 times I've shown up here, you've been here. And she goes, yeah, I gave one of the door guys some money and told him anytime you show up to text me. And Chappelle just went, he goes, oh, you want me to come on your titties.
That's funny. It's probably like one of the world's biggest group chats, probably like 100 people has probably told the same door guys that.
Oh yeah. No, that guy's probably pulling in $20,000 a year.
I'm sure.
Chappelle visits.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so we're talking to Chris Porter, who's one of the funniest people on earth.
Oh well, I appreciate that.
And if you haven't seen his special that came out like I don't know years ago at this point, Ugly and Angry, that is one of the funniest things you should watch on an airplane and just piss off everybody around you.
So, I'll take that. Thank you.
Or just in your own living room, but like it would be special to aggravate everyone around you on a flight, Anyway, man, that's one of my favorite comedy specials that's been out the last bunch of years. I mean, it's really.
Oh man, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
It's a great special. What have you been doing? I mean, obviously, we know what people have been doing the last year and 15 months, but what have you been spending some time?
When the pandemic started, I think I was one of the few people that was like kind of happy.
Right.
Because I've been doing 40 to 44 weekends a year for 10 years now. So,
wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so it was like 3 months off. Fine, I'll take that. And I had to learn how to cook. That was about the end of it. But then, yeah, you just try to write. I don't get a lot of auditions. I don't do a lot of TV. I'm not very good at acting, and so like stand-up's the only way I'm gonna make it. So everything I do is just literally trying to create the next hour, and then getting someone to make said hour, and then starting all over again.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm doing all the time.
Chris, in the pandemic, a lot of different comics did some other different avenues, such as touching into TikTok and beefing up their Instagram and things like that. Did you think about kind of like, hey, now that I'm home, maybe I'll do something, you know what I mean? Like Ben Bailey was infamous for doing like, new sets like every Friday on Instagram Live. And, some other comedians went on to TikTok and kind of put out their videos and started doing sketches. Was there any thought to kind of be like, yeah, let's start kind of pivoting to this?
Not really. I mean, I was definitely more active on Instagram, just doing like, because I was making dinner and stuff. Like I would just do like daily dinner check-ins with my fans on my stories and stuff, and just trying to like let them know how I was getting through it, and maybe that would hopefully help get them through it, And but otherwise, it was just me being high and trying to be funny. But I started doing if someone asked me to do a Zoom show or whatever, I would do that. And I don't know how to mute these. Anyway, hold on. Oh, I can just do that maybe. Hey, can you talk?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We're good at that.
No, that did not. That was stupid. I can't do that. All right, sorry. I keep getting these notifications, and I'm just like, can you hear them when that happens?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck it then. All right. Anyway.
Ding away, my friend.
So yeah, but I don't know. It was just that never came into mind. I definitely didn't want to burn. I mean, God bless Ben for doing that kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm always trying to build the hour, so I didn't want to burn too much.
Right.
And also that shit was weird. Like those Zoom shows were weird. They got better as time went on and the technology got figured out. But those first couple were fucking disgusting.
Oh, they were rough.
Yeah. Well, also like the first couple, I was like, you start to realize you're like, no, I have to do this on a computer that's kind of wired in. Like you can't do it on your phone, on your Starbucks Wi-Fi or whatever the fuck. So, like I did one Zoom show, and there was a bit that just laid there, and I was like, this is pretty evergreen and not real offensive. Like I was like, but it was about babies. I was like, oh, I'll watch one of these people's baby just died and everybody knows about it or something. And so I just, I struggle through it and I get them back. And so at the end of it, I was doing like a virtual meet and greet. And they're like, yeah, you froze for like 5 minutes. And you're just like, well,
would have been better if they were like, yeah, Chris, this was about raising money for SIDS awareness. So
maybe lay off the baby stuff. I remember we were doing shows, me and Brian Kiley, who's a writer for Conan and probably one of the like least offensive stand-up comics, also brilliant stand-up comics that I've seen. And we were doing shows for this charity that was designed around getting people that were wrongfully accused off death row. And he did some joke about his wife committing a capital crime, and it just laid there. And I was like, yeah, man, read the room, bro. Read the room.
Yeah. Like that Simpsons clip. It's like a puppy has been run over in the parking lot. It's died. And now the comic stylings of Homer Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those.
I remember one time when Rowdy Roddy Piper first started doing stand-up.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what?
You didn't know that, John?
No.
Yeah.
He did it for a couple years. And it was basically just him telling funny stories.
Right.
But it was, he did them, and Steve Simone helped him out. But this was like the first show he'd done. And so I'm going up next, and they some LAPD officer in full uniform goes up to Rowdy Roddy Piper on stage and hands him his Medal of Honor and goes, I would never have had the courage to do this, but watching you gave me the courage. And Rowdy Roddy Piper is crying.
Wow.
He doesn't know what to do. So he goes, this is so awesome. I don't know what to say. You know what? Here's Chris Porter. And I have to walk up on stage. And I was so fucking mad. I was so mad. And I just went up there and I looked at the audience and I go, are you fucking kidding me? And there was they looked at me like, what? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, this dude gets handed someone else's Medal of Honor, and now I got to tell you about how I can't get laid for 15 minutes? Are you And I just did it. I did that shit for fucking 8 minutes. I just laid into how awful it was. Because that's not the first time that shit's gone down. I remember one time in Evansville, Indiana, showing up to do the first night of a headline weekend, and there's a Wheel of Fortune on my stage. And I go to the manager, I go, what's up with the Wheel of Fortune? And he goes, this is a private party. Everyone in this audience has won a radio drawing is in a radio drawing to win tickets to the Super Bowl. And they're going to draw the names right before you go up. And I go, no, you mean after, right? And he goes, the DJs have to be up early and they don't want to stay up late. So they're leaving. They're going to do it right before you go on stage. And then they're leaving. So literally the DJ goes up, spins the wheel and goes, give it up for Gary. Gary wins the Super Bowl. Fucking Gary walks off, grabs the tickets and literally leaves. Just leaves. And then the DJ literally goes, give it up for Gary. And now here's Chris Porter. Just like that. And I didn't know what to do. So now literally, because everyone in that audience was like, I'm in. There's no way I don't win this drawing. Everybody was.
Right.
And then they didn't. And the guy that did left. So then I go up on stage and I didn't know what to say. So I just go, what's up, losers? And it went downhill from there.
But did the audience stick around?
The audience, some of them did. Who gives a shit? The ones that did were in a fucking awful mood. I think it took me 6 or 7 minutes to finally get a laugh. The only thing that saved me was everyone got to bring a guest. So some of the guests were laughing. They didn't lose anything. Right. But fuck,
that's tough.
Was pretty awful.
That Roddy got to be that's got to be the most impossible situation.
And luckily I brought it around and and I think it was just that anger that they were like, yeah, I get it. Yeah. But yeah, no, I love it when people are just like, give it up. Let's have a moment of silence for everyone we lost this year. And now here's comedy.
I love the segues that news people do. 15 died in a fire. Speaking of hot clothing, this summer's fashion sense.
Yeah, 100%. Oh,
segue.
I love doing daytime news that every Dayton Live, every little town has a local AM TV show. Yeah. And those people are so scared of comics.
I know.
They're just so afraid that you're going to say fuck. And so it's they'll be like, so Chris, how you been? And then there's just this fear in their eyes.
I love that shit.
Oh, I remember one time this girl it was obvious that she had just found out that she was interviewing me. like moments before we went on air. And literally her first question goes, I'm here with Chris Porter, who's at Chuckle Fucks or whatever. And she goes, Chris, tell us about your journey. I was like, fucking, I don't know. I woke up at 6 a.m. and this guy picked me up and drove me. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I didn't say it, but I was like, are you out of your mind? It is 7:30 in the morning. Like, let's not talk about journeys until I've had my coffee.
There's that classic moment of Burr on like Good Day New York calling out the one of the news anchors happens to be the son of the police commissioner, and it's just like one of those awkward moments where Burr's just like, yeah, you should tell your dad to stop beating black people up. It's like, holy shit. Do you still do that? I mean, I'm sorry, Greg. I'm so fascinated by this.
No, all good.
What I mean, like, how do you prepare for something like that? Because, like, yeah, I think it's like Cleveland does one, and I think I saw like Dayton, and there's one up in when you do up in Michigan, that guy over there, one of them. But yeah, like, do you actually get dropped from doing those shows though?
Most of them are pretty easy because you're literally on for like a minute and a half. So like you can go that far without saying fuck. Like,
yeah.
But there was one time in Des Moines, Iowa, where they had me on for something like 38 broadcast minutes. Like I just became part of the news for a solid hour. And about the 29th minute, my coffee started to wear off, and we were just talking off the cuff. And I was like, you know, the thing, the thing. And like their eyes got real big and my eyes got real big. And we just kind of talked over it. And we got away. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah. And this fucking old white man came up and started yelling at me in a way that I thought it was so over the top that I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking with me. This guy's just going to like start yelling at me and go, no, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Whatever. He kept yelling at me and then just walked away. And then I got mad. And then I was like, oh, I thought this was a fuck you. Like I was mad. They didn't like it was obviously an accident. And then I found out because I was calling all my lawyer friends. Like I said fuck on the news. Like what are in they? And I told them, and they're like, oh, that's a reference. They're like, first off, you mumbled it. And second off, like, it's just like, it's a weird, like, gray area, but they're like, you're fine. Anyway, they didn't have me on that station for like 5 years.
That's awesome. So when the whole like lockdown started happening, were you nervous about what was going to happen for the next, who knows how long, besides being happy you were locked in for 3 months? Like what crossed your mind as far as being able to get out and get on tour and work?
I was pretty optimistic about the whole time. Like I knew I had enough money in the bank that if I was smart about it, I had some time.
Right.
And then I was like, and then worst comes to worst. Like I never got it, but I started calling about the unemployment, not because I needed it, but because I was like, I might need it later.
Yeah.
And, but then like, June, July, things started to open up, and I made just enough money to like because when shit shut back down in August and September, I was fine again. And then I did a Rush Tick show that went real well. So then I was just like I just got real lucky. So I was never about the time I was like, shit better start to open up or something. Something came along. So yeah. I got very fortunate in that. And also, you know, I don't lead a very expensive lifestyle. I mean, that's not true, but it was easy to kind of shut it down. And as long as I had money for weed and good tequila, I was pretty much set.
What's your tequila? Which is your tequila of choice?
1942. Huh. But if I'm trying to save a buck, I'll do the Clase Azul, which is, you know, just a minor.
Wait, is 1942 the one with the bell on top?
No, that's Clase Azul. That's another one. But some of those, like the blue and white bottles, a good tequila, and you can get it for like $100 a bottle. But some of their bottles, like there's like a black and gold one that's literally like $1,800 or something.
Yeah.
What?
So I just want to chime in on that for a second. Your cheaper version is the Casa Azul. That's your cheaper bottle.
Yeah, just because like, look, man, I'm old and I'm not a huge drinker, so
Right.
like I'd rather just drink what I'm gonna drink, what I want to drink, and if we don't have it, then I just won't drink. I'll just have water and get super high.
I'll tell you, that Don Julio, I mean, 42 is obviously awesome. There's another Don Julio that's a silver that is a much less expensive bottle that is one of my favorite tequilas. It's
to just sip on.
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really. I'll send you the bottle. It doesn't look like the other Don Julios. It's like.
Oh, okay.
It kind of looks like a Patron bottle, but it's not. It's just a big square.
Because it even says Patron on it, but I
no. It says right. Those are
now,
good.
you know what? Just not to bring the room down, but we lost Vic Henley over the pandemic, and he was one of those guys that because I'm currently sober now, 14 days today. I'm going a whole month. Thanks,
That's a
man.
fortnight.
Yeah, right. It's a fortnight, exactly. That's what my Irish friends say when I'm coming back to the bar. No.
John will be back.
He's under a bridge.
He probably, or they heard sober and he clocked out.
Yeah.
What have you always been a tequila guy?
No, I've morphed. When I was a kid, it was a lot of rum and cokes. Right. I think is where everyone. Well, I drank enough vodka in high school to where I'm like still afraid of it. And then
middle ground.
John's back. John, you skipped out for like a minute.
Damn it!
We lost you after 14 days sober.
Oh, so 14 days sober, but Vic Henley was a comic that we lost, and he always taught me that if there wasn't good booze, he wouldn't drink. And I think I want to kind of emulate that, because now hearing it from you, Chris, it's very interesting. That's like I'm headed up to this Chappelle event, and
we get it. You're super cool.
Jeez, rub it in, asshole.
I know he's gonna have good booze, and it's like, how do I not do it? But I guess having your own brand. But my problem is I'm either 0 or I'm 100. I can't find that 50%. And it seems like you've kind of found that. If you just won't drink if what you want isn't there.
Yeah, no, it's but also I'm a chameleon. So if they don't have good tequila, but I'm hanging out with my buddies and everyone's having a Coors Light, well then fuck it, let's have a Coors Light. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna do that by myself.
Yeah, at the house. Yeah,
I've always been a tequila, a brown liquor person, and I went for years and years only drinking Scotch, right? And as I got older, my tastes got better, and then now I'm buying really good bottles of Scotch. And then one day I just started drinking tequila a few years ago, more on a regular basis, and I haven't had a Scotch in 3 years. When I drink,
yeah, it's a cleaner buzz, because I did Scotch for a long time, and I loved Macallan.
Sure.
Before it got really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, my buddy turned me on to tequila, and I felt like it was a cleaner buzz, and it supposedly keeps you skinny. So
yeah, it actually it is. It's a diuretic. Who's got a killer tequila section, and I can't remember the name of this liquor store either, but it's on Sunset next. It's part Jewish deli, part liquor store.
Oh, that's Greenblatt's.
Yes, Greenblatt's. Yeah. They have a really good tequila section in there.
They're pretty pricey.
Are they?
I found this little market that you can get a pretty good, decent bottle in 1942. And the last time I was there, there's been shortages.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're aware of 42 and Clase, the high-end tequilas, just because I think everyone's just been sitting at home drinking good tequila. And so it's kind of been hard to find. And so,
Costco.
Yeah, the last time I was, Costco, you can't get it at Costco here.
Oh, really?
You can get Dragones for days, but no 42.
Huh. That's a bummer.
Trust me, I'm a Costco guy. I look fucking, some days it looks like I'm ready for the apocalypse, like the day after.
Stocking up that closet behind you of booze and weed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Water. You're listening to another episode of the Somewhat Damaged Podcast, part of the Storic Media Podcast Network and brought to you by Corona Premier, now available on draft. So listen, there's a very hard-hitting topic I have to talk to you about.
Okay.
I have to bring up pickles. Like I have to.
All right.
Like I got to dig into that a little bit because I'm a pickle guy. I am, right?
Hey man.
And
different strokes.
That bit on pickles is so friggin' funny because I have a similar fruit that I feel the exact same way about. So I want to know what turns you off from pickles, but I also need to know how you feel about raisins.
I'm anti-raisin.
Good, thank God.
I'm very anti-raisin.
How come?
Fuck your old grapes. I don't like them, A, and B, I don't like how they used to like sneak them into, well, they still do, but I'm just more aware. They would always sneak them into like cinnamon rolls and shit.
Yeah.
And so, and I love a cinnamon roll, and you go biting into one and there's 4 raisins. You're like,
that's how I feel about like salads, right? So like I don't know where and when people started putting raisins in salads, but it's a sure way to fuck up any kind of food you're excited about eating. Not that salads excite me, but you know, when you get sometimes you're moving and then someone throws a handful of raisins in it, it's like, what are you doing? You may as well throw dog shit on top of that salad.
Absolutely. Raisins fuck up anything.
Anything.
What? Wait, what?
Anything.
What?
I'm like on this raisin brand kick for the last couple of months. I love it.
Oh, well, enjoy being 9.
There's something about the dehydrated fruit that's like it feels like it's healthier almost.
Listen, no one has ever come home from school and go into your cabinet looking for a snack and been psyched to find a bucket of red boxes of raisins. Nobody ever. Yeah. No one.
And no one's given out raisins at Halloween and not gotten TP'd.
No kidding. That's the house you make. You'll remember that house for the rest of your life. I know the house that gave me raisins from when I was
100%.
30 years ago.
And I think that's just those people. They're like, we give out raisins one year. No one's ever coming back. And we get every Halloween off.
Yeah. What if it's covered in chocolate? Like Raisinets I enjoy. Like I enjoy that at like a movie theater with like my popcorn.
Why wouldn't I just give me chocolate?
Yeah.
Why are you putting a raisin in it?
Yeah, I'll punch someone in the face. Sorry, John.
Yeah, right. I will. I'd like to reiterate my point. Fuck your old grapes.
Cadbury fruit and nut is fantastic.
That's going to be a T-shirt when we put out our merch line. Fuck your old grapes is going to be on the back of a bunch of T-shirts, credited to Chris. But
no one will buy it.
Oh bullshit! That's going to be a #1 T-shirt. Yeah. So pickles, like, is that like, have you always hated pickles, or did one day you had a pickle and you're like, why am I eating these dicks?
No, I don't like anything. Well, I don't like cucumbers, and I don't like anything dill. So that's double. That's double gross. Shit. Yeah, I don't do mustard. I don't do horseradish. It's just it doesn't agree with me. But yeah, my problem with pickles aren't the pickles themselves. It was more about the garnish.
Right.
Using them as garnish, and then you know, 4 bites of my sandwich taste disgusting.
The pickle seeps in, ruins everything. That's so funny.
Oh yeah.
What about squash and zucchini? Like, is it an aversion to a long vegetable?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm not and any girl that has ever dated me will tell you this. I don't do vegetables.
Nice.
And it's I mean, there's a few exceptions, and it's not a thing. It's a texture thing. Like, it's definitely not a thing I haven't tried to overcome. It's just there's something, and I've like Googled it, and there's some deep-seated memory I have, and I kind of know what it is. Back in the 70s and 80s, they would sneak vegetables into actual burger patties.
Right.
Like my step grandma used to do that shit, and they're just you having a great day, and you bite into a burger, and there's just a fucking handful of onions in it. And I don't know, but there's an aversion to the texture that, like, as soon as I bite down on something fibrous,
right,
like an onion or a tomato, like I'm just like, and I hate it, and I wish I could get over it. It's like the weirdest thing about me, but it's here to stay.
So what about when you go to a steakhouse and you order it? Like, what are your sides?
French fries, potatoes, more meat.
Can I get a
turf and turf?
Turf.
Yeah. I went to the Palm Sunday, and I went surf and turf with fries, blackened fries.
Nice.
Not on the menu,
right?
You can get them.
Which Palm?
Just FYI, Beverly Hills.
Yes.
So next, I'm in LA in July 5th to the 9th. I'm hitting up.
I know. I saw the billboards.
You dick. I'm gonna go to Lowry's. I'm doing Lowry's prime rib. I'm looking so forward to that. The Wilshire pudding. Oh fuck yeah! Oh, I'm so excited for it.
Chris, have you ever had the?
Wait, is my billboard still in Wilshire, or they moved to Sunset? So I make sure.
No, they moved it to Santa Monica. You know why?
Oh yeah. West Hollywood, baby.
Have you ever had the steak sandwich at Smokehouse?
I don't know what you're saying.
The Smokehouse.
What Smokehouse is that here?
Yeah. In Burbank, across from Warner Studios.
Oh no.
Oh man, you got to go get one of those steak sandwiches. Holy moly!
I'll have
a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich.
Yeah. And, it's one of the best movies of all time, Fletch.
For sure. And then I didn't realize it till I was showing it to my sister and her friend, and he was like, "Does this theme song play all the time?" And I'm like, "Yeah." As a matter of fact, it does. So get used to it.
That's one of the. I mean, I quote that movie. I mean, that line and so many other lines out of that. Ted Nugent.
Oh yeah, that's also how you immediately know you kind of like somebody.
Right.
If they're like, "Can I borrow your towel?" And my car just hit a water buffalo.
Water buffalo. I honestly, I probably have 3,000 to 6,000 Instagram comments using that only that line.
And Fletch too, underrated.
Underrated.
Wait, I don't think I've never seen Fletch.
Bruce Springsteen's ex-wife.
You've never seen Fletch?
No, I got to see this now.
Fucking, and they let you into a Dave Chappelle event?
Your comedy card's revoked, John.
Holy fuck.
So can we talk about your podcast with your sis?
Sure. Yeah.
How did that come to be?
Well, okay, so I did like 20 episodes of a podcast like in 2011, and it was just, especially out here in LA, like and I'm sure it's the same in New York, where you try to book guests and the day of they're like, "I got an audition, I can't do it," and you can't be mad at them because that's their job.
Yep.
But also, I have to do this podcast, so like I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth, and then podcasts got huge. Right. And everyone's like, "You need to have a podcast." And then my sister and I were just hanging out one night, and we were making each other laugh. And I was just like, if I did a podcast, this is what I would want it to be. It's just you and I, and her and I just always hang out and always make each other laugh. I was like, we should just record this. And I was like, make this the podcast. And she goes, what should we call it? And I was like, I don't know. We're so late to the game. It's like the 1 millionth podcast. So this is called the 1 millionth podcast. Yeah. And so that's how it took off, and it does well. We have a small audience, but they're dedicated. Right. Like I got a lot of people showing up to my shows in like talent receiver t-shirts, which is like a reference to the pod and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good times. We're not breaking the bank by any means, but we're having a good time with it.
Right. And how is it doing it like with your sister? Like, is it ever like sibling rivalry or anything like that?
I mean, there's definitely moments like where we kind of get into it and irk each other, but that's the fun of it. Is like, 90% of it is us having a good time, but then 10% of it we're siblings.
Right. when you guys were growing up, were you guys like funny, like with each other always growing up, or like how did it
So
go?
like we're 7.5 years apart. So for like the first 12 years of her life, she was like a pet.
Right.
You know, like we had fun and we played, but then like she stayed home and I went and lived life. And then when she became, you know, when she was 15 and 16 and became a person and had a personality, like, yeah, we got to know each other. Also, like, I saw the games she was playing with mom and dad because they were the very same games I played.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so I would corner her like in her room and I'd be like, I know what the fuck you're doing. And I'd be like, you're doing this and you're doing this. So like that's kind of how we bonded. But yeah, we always made each other laugh. She's always been a goofball. And always kind of was like the younger sister hanging out in the back when we were watching Fletch and all these movies.
Right.
So yeah. So like yeah, she's still one of my best friends and I genuinely enjoy doing the podcast with her.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
And she's in TV also. Well, in TV.
Yeah, she's a producer. Yeah,
that's cool.
So she's working on. She's senior producer for this show that actually premieres the night I don't know if when this comes out, but
Monday,
the night tonight. So last Thursday, it premiered. It's called When Nature Calls, and they take planet Earth footage and put like funny voices over it.
Oh, that's cool. What is it on? What's it on?
ABC.
Oh wow. Good
so
for
yeah,
her.
It's a big deal. It's on after Holy Moly or before Holy Moly.
Right. When do you get to be on?
I don't. I already auditioned, and they were like, "Hey, you're really good at being Andy's brother," and I was like, "That's fair." That's
fair. Don't you guys have a show? So, you've been out, you know, doing gigs around for a while. Like, is this now like full on for the next?
Yeah, it's full on. I got full vaxxed. Once I got full vaxxed in the 2 weeks, I started doing meet and greets again and just doing the whole thing just because, I mean, that's a lot of money and stuff.
Sure.
Like you just, you know, selling merch and doing all that kind of shit. So it's good. And it's also good to be out. You forget that, like, yeah, people come up to you and they're like, I drove 9 hours to see you. And I think that shit makes you feel amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Have you noticed any differences in audiences like the last couple months compared to a year and a half ago?
Yeah, they're not on their phones as much.
Right.
Really?
Like yeah, it's like weird. I saw a woman on her phone like one show in Orlando, and I was like, well, she wouldn't be laughing anyway. So fuck that.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of let it go. But I mean, it used to be you saw people on their phones all the time, like even if they were enjoying the show. And now I've noticed very few people on their phones.
Well,
it's been a huge reduction.
That's awesome.
Do you feel like people forgot how to kind of react? I mean, I've noticed a lot more hecklers at the club, and just not hecklers, but people just like kind of saying the joke or saying, you know what I heard at the Cellar the other night? People repeating the punchline and enjoying it, like you're not at your house anymore. Have you heard that yet? It's like,
I mean, yeah, I don't mind that as much because that's just. You know, that's that because I do that shit. Like, if you say something really funny, I will probably repeat it because, like, it's just how I am. But what I have noticed, and it's not as bad lately, is people are more talkative at their tables, like to each other.
Sure.
And it's like, you're like, hey, man, like, I know you haven't seen each other in a while. This is not the venue. And I don't tell them to shut the fuck up. I literally say shit like, hey, I know you haven't seen each other in a while, but you guys can't catch up right now.
Yeah.
Because there's people around you that don't give a fuck about
about how many steps Johnny took.
Oh, you bought a new mower? Crazy. We paid admission.
How many nights are you working in LA now?
Very well. This week I'm working like 4 or 5 just because I actually have the weekend off.
Right.
But most week I don't really do a lot of spots around LA just because I was talking to I work Thursday through Sunday or Thursday through Saturday, and I get home and I love comedy. I really do, and I'm very fortunate to do it. But also I'm at an age, and I've been doing it for 22 years. I don't really want to go to the clubs if I don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if I got a bit, I'm working out, and I'm working on a special or whatever. Fucking, I get it. Like, I'll do the work, but I'm not, and also like just because the lineups are so stacked as they are in New York, like I don't go on till 11:45, and I don't want to go up at 11:45 when I have a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
and I just can't run that risk. So I don't really do a lot of spots when I'm working consistently, but I do make sure. So I would say like 1 or 2 a month, just because I do pop in just to make. You got to keep yourself known that you don't want them to forget about you.
Sure.
Right.
What do you think about, like, I don't want to call it a defection, but like all the guys that have moved down to Austin? Like, how do you think that's affected the LA scene?
I mean, it hasn't really affected the LA scene. Brad Williams and I were joking that between the mass exodus and people getting canceled, we're getting much better spots in LA. Like every fucking CNN article that comes out, we're just like, hey man, it's like I got to go up at 9:30 last night at the Comedy Store. That hasn't happened ever.
Really?
And yeah, so I'm just like, fucking thank you, accusations.
You know, it's funny. I saw that, Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood has been doing comedy shows up on the rooftop. They did like drive-ins and shit like that. They were doing a Paul Mooney show or a tribute to Paul Mooney, and it was literally all white people. It was like T.J. Miller was on it,
and Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, no, my buddy retweeted it and said something. He was like, I remember when Paul Mooney talked about how much he loved Jamie Kennedy.
Oh man, let's just kind of dip in that a little bit, and what about the wokeness of our industry right now?
I mean,
God,
when it comes to shit like sexual assault and all that stuff, like that's like a whole different animal.
Sure.
That's let's put that aside because that's
definitely
warranted, and that's I'm happy that
technically
shit like
unwarranted. Hello.
Hey, and if the accusations are true, I'm glad that it's occurring. But when it comes to like people just making jokes, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like it's jokes. Like and if you want to get offended, then just don't watch him anymore.
Sure.
But this whole like, because I personally think this joke isn't funny and offensive, you should no longer have a career is fucking like when people are digging tweets up from 12 years ago and then canceling people because of them. It's like, first off, you're implying that people can't grow.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's a WTF episode where I drop hard R's.
Wow.
Because I'm telling a story about someone saying the word.
Right.
Right.
And I was a young kid and I was ill-informed, and I thought if it was in the third person, if you were telling a story, it was fine. Sure. Well, then Dean Edwards was on right after me, and we had this huge conversation about, he was like, man, I didn't mind you when you said it the first 3 times. But then it's like, after that, we get what the word is. Like, you don't have to keep saying it. And I was like,
right.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. But is there a fear in the back of my mind that if I do make a splash on the internet one day, someone's like, well, here he is saying hard R's all the time. Yeah. And it's from 2000, and you literally listen to me learn a lesson later on in the episode. And to the point where I had lunch with Dean the next day, I was like, man, did I fuck up? And he was like, no, you were just ignorant and you learned. And
did Dean do it in his Denzel Washington voice though? Or his Tracy.
But it's like I shouldn't have to be afraid about that.
Yeah.
Because it was an innocent mistake. But again, and like people make jokes, like Sarah Silverman joking, like apologizing about making jokes at a roast about Paris Hilton. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you shouldn't have to. Like, I get it why you do it. You're probably friends with her now or whatever the fuck. But it's also like, man, it was a roast, and you were a fucking dumpster fire of media attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that the people that are perpetrating and kind of canceling these comics are from the same generation of growing up during the 90s when South Park was trying to be censored and things like wrestling were trying to be censored as well. And just because of it, they wanted to watch it and they were a part of it, and they didn't, and that was the same culture of people that said, yeah, if you don't like what's on television, just turn it off. Now we're trying to cancel straight up careers and make people lose money. Like, it's gotten out of control. And I God, I hope to Jesus that doesn't happen, in your situation. But it is scary to think that. What other things do we have to know about that we could dig up, by the way?
Well, fucking 2007 to 2011, I got real rapey. And I'm fucking.
We all did. Those were some rough years.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what was going on. And just trying to find myself in a girl's. No, that's the thing is like I've been pretty like I remember I was talking to my buddy Zach Myers and I was just like, man, if a girl is uncomfortable in the least, I'm like, what happened? Like, I'm so sorry. What do you not want to do? Like, I remember I got in trouble with a girl because she was just kind of laying there. And I was like, yo, are you cool? Is everything all right? And she was like, yeah, why? I was like, and don't ever say this. I was like, oh, because you're just kind of laying there. And yeah, that was the end of that. But,
for lots of reasons.
Yeah. I was like, apparently you're not supposed to say that to
her. And then she left.
Lesson learned. Again, lesson learned. Just like third person hard R's. You have to live and learn.
School time with Chris. That's fun.
Yeah, this is the Chris Porter learning session.
Yeah, right. This is a class everyone needs to take. So John, you know what's coming. We gotta before we wrap. So I'm gonna let you take your little shtick.
So Chris, you've been touring a little bit. Can you tell me the best thing that you've eaten in the last month?
Oh shit. The best thing I've eaten in the last month. Oh, can I pull up my calendar just because the
go for it. Go for it. I love that. Yeah.
Fucked up my brain. All right. Let me see. Where have I been?
You gotta check it out. I mean, listen, like.
Oh yeah, no, hands down. Let me just make sure. Double checking. See, where did we go? We didn't really eat real well on that. Okay, yeah. San Francisco, Sweet Maple. I go every time I'm there. They're the home of Millionaire's Bacon.
What's Millionaire's Bacon? Wait, what?
It's bacon with like some sort of like glaze and then like brown sugar and cayenne pepper, and they're like it's ridiculous. Their whole menu is ridiculous, and it's not a cheap brunch by any stretch, but it is that's the best thing I've had. It's also one of those places that you go in going, this is going to be amazing, and then it still blows you away.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I had French toast, scrambled eggs, and some Millionaire's Bacon, and I wanted it. Like, it was one of those things I wanted to go back the next day. I was just like, you're being stupid.
Yeah. By the way, it's pretty good because John usually asks, what's the best thing you ate this week? So he opened it up to you for a whole month.
Yeah,
this week would have been Dave's Hot Chicken, which if you're ever in LA, fucking get Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken. I got a couple of things on the menu for LA. Actually, there's a taco place like south of DTLA that I want to check out. That I heard was real.
Also, check out Tacos 1986 if you haven't.
I think that's the one that I'm going to. If I can pull up my calendar now, because I'm cool and I'm hip. I mean, like, food is like one of those things. Like, I specifically go around, like, anytime that I travel, I want to make sure that I'm getting the best possible food, and sometimes it fucking breaks the bank.
Yeah.
Me and John are in LA in like 10 days, and I want to take him to some of the places that I like, because I used to spend a lot of time in LA, and one of them is the steak sandwich at Smokehouse. But the other, have you been to Black Oh my God. Black Market Liquor Bar in Studio City on Ventura.
I have not.
It is, they have some of the best small plates around. And if you like drinks, they make killer cocktails. And I went in there and I usually ask, like, way stuff like, what should I try? What's like a home run? And the guy looks me dead in the face and goes, the smoked trout will change your life. Right. And I'm like, you don't know me, but
yeah.
Right. And I was like, all right, let's have the smoked trout. And dude, I got to tell you, that is some life-changing smoked trout. It is phenomenal. It is definitely phenomenal. And then, have you been to Mastros, whatever?
Mastro Beach Club. Fuck yeah.
Have you had their butter cake?
Yeah.
Mastros. That's the one in Venice, right? Or sorry, Malibu.
Yeah. I think they might also have a Beverly Hills location.
Yeah, there's a Beverly Hills one too.
Oh yeah, I went to the one there. I had the butter cake there.
Yeah, that
I started with the butter cake actually there.
That's a good way to start.
If you're gonna do it, go to the beach club, because you're literally on the beach.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I went there during COVID back in September, and they had just opened up. I think like a week prior to that, but it was great. We actually did the bread over there, and then we just had like a small chicken. But then we had reservations over at Nobu on Malibu, which is also another fucking beautiful view. But it's just sushi at the end of the day. But
that's double bouge. That's double bouge.
Oh, I'm bougie as fuck, man.
Dude, you were like fucking Nobu, but let's just dabble at Mastros. Like, just get it kicked off.
Yeah, we had some Prosecco by the beach. It was fucking great.
Just a little bougie nash. Just a little bouge with the nash.
But the thing is, he was wearing cargo shorts.
Fuck no. First of all, the guy that I was with never let me wear cargo shorts.
They were on their way to a Dave Matthews concert.
Fuck you. I like Dave.
Just the early stuff.
We were listening to Lana Del Rey, though. It was nice.
Going downhill. All right, John.
You did go down on me in the parking lot, though. That was great.
What about you, John? What was your best thing the last week?
Oh, I cooked for Dad on Sunday.
Right, that looked good.
I did pork bellies, nice little marinade on that, and it was fantastic. It was great. I actually have to say that was good, but I cooked last night. Did you happen to see my story last night, Greg?
Yes, John. I saw your story last night.
Yes. So last night, check this out.
Was it you packing for the Dave Chappelle event?
No, it was me. Just indulging. Flank steak marinated in 30 minutes with soy and lime and lemon juice, and then some oil, and then I did a grilled eggplant, pulled the skin off, chopped it really fine with roasted garlic. Unfreaking believable last night. That was my dinner, and that was hands down the best thing that I think that's gonna be in like the top 10 things that I've cooked.
Nice.
You sound like every 25-year-old fitness influencer on TikTok right now.
If you looked at me, you'd be like, nah. This fucking fat fucking Filipino. Get the trying to be healthy, Chris. Come on. Sober for a month. I'm trying to like lay off the sugars and shit. Greg, what was the best thing that you had, sir?
In like 3 hours, John's going to be in front of a Krispy Kreme at Foxwoods with like 3 boxes of hot and fresh donuts.
I'm actually
Come on, sevens.
There's an Italian restaurant there that has some amazing truffle fettuccine that I was looking at.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have.
I was basic this week. I just had a killer again at the steakhouse by my house. I had a bone-in ribeye. It was just incredible, massive.
Yeah,
it was.
Unbelievable.
You can't fuck that up.
Never fuck up that.
Anyway, man, seriously, thanks a lot. Like, I really want to talk to you for a long time. You're one of my favorite guys out there. And
well, thanks, man. That means the world.
And when we're in LA, we'll hit you up if you're around and go for some steak sandwiches.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, there's John. Look at him.
Yes.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Sorry, I'm in the neighborhoods now of Jersey City, so I was like, This is the prime time for me to hit a child while I'm driving. So let's do this. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll see you soon. And yeah, dude, everybody listen to the podcast. And yeah, you've got some great albums out with Comedy Dynamics and streaming on your website. So definitely check that out.
Are you coming out east at all, or on your tour? Are you coming out?
I'm doing Bananas on 23, 24 of July.
Oh, hell yeah. That's right there in Jersey. I love that spot. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes away. Yeah, I'll swing by.
Cool. Maybe I'll take the train up to the city on Saturday and we can hang out or something.
Dude, we're totally down. We love that stuff. We love it when people hang.
All right. Sounds good, boys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. Later.